Well, hello. It's time for update 4. Update 2 of Foundry, the Let's Play video 4. Here I am. Hang on. We're getting there. Alright, we're at the landing location, and I figure this would be a good place to start, because something giant that way comes. This is something I unlocked since the last update. These are cargo drones. They can bring cargo remotely without having to run miles and miles of conveyor belts. Although it's only a few hundred meters, but we'll pretend. I was very concerned because I was starting to run low. See, this is my Technum. We'll fly over, and this is my Xenoferrite. And they're not out by any means. But over here, this is what used to be my ignium deposit, and it's empty. Yeah, that's right. There's nothing left. So, since I had nothing left in the ignium, hang on here, I'm doing a little something while we talk, because I'm going to demonstrate a couple of little things here while I'm working. I have to come up with another source, and thank goodness I came up with another source, because here's the cargo pad that it's being delivered to. Oh, see, he just arrived. Isn't that nice that he shows up just so I can show you? And what's happening is this source, this is what's incoming right now, and they'll empty it out of the cargo, which magically is being sucked out of there. You don't actually see anything. Oh, I see. There's a little ring down at the bottom it's being sucked out of. So, and it comes out of these outlets. I have 3 of them hooked up, and they all go to this large logistics box and then get put in to where it used to come out of the ground, and now it goes off. And the reason I had this is I'll show you. Now that I can fly faster, it's one of the updates, my jetpack moves a lot faster. You can see that red line, that's my ignium supply. And it went all the way down here to where my steam turbines are. Except that when I ran out and I was starting to get it delivered, I didn't account for the fact that in between deliveries and the fact that I had a slow belt, I wasn't going to get enough fuel to my turbines. When you don't get fuel to the turbines, everything starts shutting down. But I now have a pretty regulated supply, because I actually have 2 other ignium deposits, 2 and 3, that are supplying to my factory. Also, I have solar panels. These are tiltables, these nice ones. These are the original type ones. And here's the little batteries and the big batteries. So I figure if for some reason, something happened to my ignium supply entirely, I would still have 8 hours. So if I lost my ignium right at the beginning of the night, I'd have batteries that would supply me for 8 hours. And then after that, the solar panels would start making up some of the supply. So let's see what else we get going on here. Well, there's that big tower. That big tower is something that got built. It's a modular building, and maybe in the next video, when I get another modular building to unlock, I'll show you how it's done. It's really very cool. But this allows me to communicate with the space station without having to fly down to the little terminal next to my original landing pod. I can just press this button and select station management, hit a button, and there I am. There's the station. The R&D lab is telling me that I've got tech points where I can improve how much money I make off of it, of the sales, or improve production efficiency, or reduce the product weight. And this is something that just happens as you sell things. Essentially, it's information. Like it says, it automatically analyzes it, and you get experience. Experience means that you make the product better or cheaper or faster, or it weighs less, and it comes up to your space station. On the galaxy map, I'm making trades now with 3 planets, 3 systems. I guess they're planets. And if I click a button and show you, to that planet, I'm selling that's what this right here, the sales I'm having. I'm selling vacuum bots and transport bots. And here's my market share. I'm doing 60% of the appliances and 16% of the logistics. So I'm still not market leader, but I'm 32% of the market there. And then there's info on the planet. We showed that last time. We'll go back to space station for a moment. I've added fuel depot. At some point I can start making my own fuel on the planet and shipping it up to the space station so I don't have to buy their expensive fuel. Finances are doing really well. This is the my current daily profit. It's always lowest on the current day because it's not a full day yet. But you can say we're making money hand over fist, which of course is Fermalite, which is in bars like gold bars. And I think that's all we'll talk about for now on that. Now, there is another thing that you can do with this little handheld gizmo, and I'll show you this. But this is why I wanted to bring produce this. This is right now. This is the default drill you have when you start the game. Drill, 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 drill. You have to be standing pretty much next to it. It takes a while. Now, when you get to Science 4, you get this. It's a laser. So it does the same thing. You actually collect the product, but now you don't have to be so close to it, which makes it handier. But of course, if you really want to do a lot of serious digging, you bring up your space station interface and you select orbital laser. And you press the button. The laser is powered up. And there's a laser, and you can drill a hole through anything. And it's a very powerful tool which can rip big holes in everything if you're not careful. And then of course it overheats. That's why you get that yellow triangle saying, hey, don't do it. So it's, with this, who needs dynamite? You can just cut holes in the planet. So that's pretty cool. Let's see what else we can show you. Oh, and of course, let me show you what I've done with it. We'll go over here, since I'm already partway there, and head towards the new ignium and technum deposits that I'm now shipping by cargo shuttle product. By the way, I haven't flown over here. This is some of the different biomes that are on here. And you notice you get higher altitude, the biome changes, and this is all procedurally generated. So it's very cool. It makes the planet look different. And of course down there it's different as well. So here's my technum deposit. There's the cargo shuttle pad. And you'll notice none of this silly digging elevators down and putting in freight elevators and stuff like I showed last time. You just blast the whole mountain away from it because the orbital laser will not cut the deposits of materials, which is very handy. So instead, I can set up my little mining drones, which of course aren't working right now because the machine inventory is full. But there'll be a drone arriving here sometime. Oh, there's the space station again. And if you follow the line of power lines, you'll see where I have my ignium deposit. And it's the same way. It was blasted out of the rock. And then I built the structure around it. It's not the final word in gathering resources, of course. Later on, you'll actually be able to get resources from the map on a more recurring surface. I'll show you here as I see that little hexagon. That's an ore vein of telexite, which I have not even started exploring yet. But that triangle, that hexagon, means that there's a different way to get it, which you do ore mining, which is a whole different gizmo. So we'll show that maybe in a different video when we get on with it. And we're approaching sunset here, or whatever we're going to call that ball in the sky. And I've expanded my olamite facility here. I've got 3 distillation towers that are making different products. We're making alumic acid, I believe we're just pronouncing that, which is required for something. And this is some of the ignium that's needed for the production of that acid. And then we're also producing fuel, and that's of course just for my jetpack. That's all I feel is used for right now. I'm sure it'll be used for other things. And then here I'm making polymer sheets, which are used for, and we'll show you as we fly back. It's used to make circuit boards, and circuit boards are used on a lot of things. See, here's the circuit board facility. It's really handy. You can put labels on these things. It's making circuit boards. Now, as I show you the circuit boards, here's something else. The red conveyor belt is a type 1, slow. The green is a type 3, very fast, but nothing's moving on it because I've filled the storage container right here. It's one of the reasons I like Foundry. You don't have to do a lot of calculating and production charts and everything else. You can just say, you can just add an assembler till this line fills up. If it's draining faster than you're filling it, you just add another assembler. Of course, then that means you usually have to add something upstream to provide it. In this case, it's providing, as we'll show you, this is hover engines, which are used for some reason in whatever it is I'm making here. Oh, I'm sorry, these are maintenance drones. Maintenance drones are used for something else, which I'll show you here in a minute. The funny thing is of course, it's the only thing, it's not a drone that you sell, which greatly disappointed me because I have this whole production facility and I've only used 8 of them so far. But they're used for this. This is the warehouse. Ta-da! Now, the warehouse is fed by this little construction area here that produces what's called construction material. Construction material is used on the space station to add updates. Let me just show you the space station again. Space station management. Go there. Station upgrades right here. Now, for instance, if I want to extend and add more construction drones, to do that, it's going to add more construction zones, which makes construction on the space station faster. I have to have 1,000 construction material, and I have 1825 right now uploaded to it, and 5,000 Fermilite bar, and I've got 261,000 because I'm making money hand over fist. So I'll just start that, and that's construction that goes on right now. As you get further in the game, you'll notice there's a whole bunch of things you can upgrade, like my orbital laser, which you can make a lot more powerful. Although, gosh knows what I'm going to do with a more powerful label. Cut holes right through the planet if I'm not careful. Alright, that takes us from that. But let's talk about the warehouse and its function. On top of the warehouse are these 4 slots. And when I built that tower, and the thing that's right next to it, in fact, let me give a demonstration. I think I can do this and actually give you a live demonstration of how this works, which will make a whole lot more sense. These are called modular buildings because you build them in modular ways. By the way, that's another. That's the, oh, I showed you that shuttle. Never mind. So I bring up the modular building interface, and oh, I can't do anything with it because I've already completed. Never mind. Well, you know what? You all deserve to see something fancy here. So let's see what I can build. Under the modular buildings. Oh, there we go. I just need 50 concrete and I can build a monument. We'll do that. Find my concrete facility. I'll get concrete and we'll build a monument. See? Now we told you to take you places. And unfortunately, the one thing I don't have is anything that collects up my concrete locally. Well, let's fix that. It'll give you an opportunity to see how you actually build things in the game. We press a button and bring up, make a little interface here. And I have a storage facility, so I need a little more space. Put a storage facility, and these are called loaders, although sometimes they're unload. And you always, this one, oh, they always come in as intakes, so you have to switch it to outtakes. And what this is doing now is it's loading concrete. But I'll shut this off so it loads concrete directly, because I need this to build my monument base. Da, 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 da. And there's my 50. I open this up, take my concrete, and switch this back out so it goes out there. Alright. Well, where should we put our monument? I think we got a nice big space right here. I don't know how big a base it is. It says I need a base 14 by 10. Blast resistance does not require foundation. So 14 by 10, no problem. I build the monument base, and it's right there. Oh, that's good. It'll be right near my landing zone. And there it is. That's a monument. That's the monument base. It doesn't look like much now. Trust me, it's getting there. Alright, we push the button, open the modular builder, and there we are. This is how this works. It's going to be nighttime, but I think you'll be able to see everything. Yeah, it's 1 o'clock in the morning, but you'll be able to see everything. Alright. You have to attach, if you look here in the upper left, there's a pedestal and a statue. So you have to attach the pedestal, and then you have to attach the statue. And it all uses construction material. This is what you see in the lower left. Alright, so that's what it's going to look like. Very cool. So I'm going to say start construction. Now, let's see what happens. You get this enormous big framework here. And see those 4 guys? They just took off from the warehouse. And they're delivering construction supplies. What's called construction material. And over here, those are the transport. They land on top of here, they pick up the material, and then they go. And you see them, oh, here they are, they're coming in to land. And they land, I think they can fit 1 at a time, maybe 2 at a time. And then they load up with material, and then go forward, and take off. And then the next one comes down, the next one comes down. Isn't that cool? These are my construction drones. These shuttles just deliver the supplies to the statue. These will actually do the work, and we'll see them take off soon. See, these guys are all picking up enough stuff. Oh, and see that guy up there? That's actually one of the Igname shuttles. There's another one sitting on the pad right now, and since that one can't land, it's just going to sit there and hover. And because I'm not burning Igname that fast, it'll just sit there indefinitely. Suspension of disbelief. Okay, watch this. See what's happening? All those supplies are being dropped. Dude, this is so cool. I didn't get a chance to show you before. Those are the construction materials, and they're all going boom, 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 magically in there. And they're going to keep delivering those. Oh, and it's a full moon tonight. It's probably a full moon every night. Until we have enough to actually start the construction. And I don't know how long this is going to take, but hopefully it won't take too long. Ooh, there's other things coming down there. Oh, those are the bots that actually do the work. Here they are. Oh, I'm sorry. Those are the 2 construction shuttles, which look weirdly kind of merged together. But now they're under constructions here. And so this building is under construction. And there's a whole number of modular buildings in the game, and I'm sure the next update will add more of them that have some effect. This is just literally just a statue. But this one, it's a scanner, and it uses huge amount of electricity. I'll show you. The long distance scanner. Oh, it's not using anything right now because it's on. Oh, it scanned all the chunks that are within range. Well, that's handy. Well, in that case, I might as well shut it down. What it does is it scans out here and looks for resources. Now, you'll see a bunch of them out here. Those I actually have to fly to be able to do anything with them to see the terrain that they're on. But this is the factory right here. And as you can see, we've already looked at a bunch of stuff out here. Now, what I can do is build a scanner way down here, say, and then it'll scan the terrain out here too. Not just the fact that there's resources here, but as you can tell, there's lots of resources and a lot of things to build. Alright. Well, I'm glad I looked at that. It didn't matter. I wasn't pulling any power, but... Oh, the factory's finished. I mean, the statue is finished. There we go. And that's what it looks like when it's completed. I don't think it has any value whatsoever in the game. It's just fun to look at. But that showed you how modular buildings worked. So we've shown you modular buildings and how the orbital laser works. And let's take a look at the main bus. Those of you who played Factorio or Satisfactory understand the idea of a main bus, where all the components, the resources that you build things with, are carried. And if you notice how we've done things here, all my little production lines go off from this main bus. Some of them, like the science or the construction materials, don't put anything back on the bus, but the advanced machine parts, for instance, takes things off, builds something, and then puts it back onto the bus. And the bus gets larger and larger, or should I say wider and wider. Now, to take things off, so if you have a production line off to the side, for instance, this is my energy cell facility. It takes things off of the bus. But to do that and maintain the bus, you use a slope to come up and a splitter and send one leg off and the other one goes up, in this case because it has to split to go off to somewhere else, and then comes down finally to the main bus. So Factorio, you can't do that. Everything's on one level, so you have to leave space between every two belts. But here you can get very inventive. And in fact, later on, I will show you how I got even more inventive. I went down and put it in below, so that stuff goes underneath the main bus. And then finally, here's the final, well, current main bus. I'm sure I'll be adding new things to it. But there's the main bus right now. And we have circuit boards, energy cells, steel, glass, machinery parts, plates, rods, electrical components, advanced machinery parts, concrete, firmamite bars, firmamite sheets, and polymer boards. And so my next construction will be north and south, or that's north and that way south, of this main bus, and I'll just continue heading it off towards that sort of Arctic looking biome. And of course, if any trees get in my way, well, we know what to do about that, don't we? We just fire up the laser. Oops. So, with that final shot from the laser, we'll say adieu, and we'll be signing off for now, and hope to come back at the episode 5.